So with that being said, again, I'll quickly introduce this, and Dax is going to take this over from here. But we've talked a lot about the flex capacitor tool, the code assessment tool. But we do have a way, if you can, we can work with you to kind of get a change management package with the code. I would say explicitly the code that you want to get upgraded into the new environment. We have a lot of clients who are using this time as a point in time to say, okay, there's like half our reports, or there's a section of our reports that nobody uses. They aren't used. We have tools that can tell you when they're being used and those type of things. But being able to really package those up and then run them through our tool gives us a lot of good stuff that you'll be able to see. And again, helps us with scoping quite a bit as well. And Dax, with that being said, I'll kind of turn this over to you.
Thanks, Tim. So I'll continue from where Tim left this. So all we need to get things started from our side is a change management package, right? So it's basically a code base that is exported from your WebFOCUS ecosystem and shared with us. We can do it in multiple ways. We can either share a document with you on how to generate this and then share it with us, or we can do it in a working session with you. The question that is mostly asked from all the customers is that should we have NDAs in place before sharing the change management package? From our side, the answer is no, because this is not sharing any of your data. This is only sharing the WebFOCUS code base. But if your policy requires the NDAs to be in place before the change management can be shared with us, we can definitely accommodate that and accelerate getting that accomplished from our side. What you see on the right is the start of us sharing the information back to you. There are more more details to this, so we will be looking at that as we keep progressing with the other slides. So I'm just going to say that the results that we share back with you, we can comfortably say that it will be at about 80% accurate. And the reason for that is because anything that is WebFOCUS native functionality based will be captured by the tool stack. But the things like if there is a SQL pass through, or if there is a custom coding, or if there is any other external API calls that's been made, those will have to be analyzed and kind of accommodated manually, right? So the experts from our side can work closely with you based on what the complexity of your environment is, and we can definitely we accommodate that as part of the migration and remediation process. So continuing with what we will be sharing back to you, the first slide, what we saw was just numbers of the FEX files, MAS files, so on and so forth. But it doesn't stop there. We specifically point out at what is wrong with each and every type of file or set of files. For example, the screenshot that you see here was generated for a particular customer, from us, and the second line says there are 349 files found to have syntax error in the set statement, which means that the older WebFOCUS version was expecting the ampersand, was not expecting an ampersand, and then the newer version will expect an ampersand. And we specifically tell them what the problem is and how this will have to be addressed. So things do not happen behind the scene. It is not a black box. The informations are shared back to the customer, because end of the day, when everything is said and done, we want all of you to be aware of what has been done and take we even take care of your upgrades by yourself in future. So that's something that we are very, very particular about. So moving on to the next slide. This is again highlighting the HTML type remediations that we'll be sharing, but I'm gonna for the sake of time, I'm gonna move through the process here. The first step here is with the installation and configuration. So there are questions from customers that can I have the newer WebFOCUS in the same server? Can both the WebFOCUS instance coexist? The answer is yes. It does not require a new server to be in place for you to begin the newer WebFOCUS journey. But if you want to create another server capacity and have the WebFOCUS installed there, that works as well. right? Maybe this is a chance for you to retire your older servers and have the newer hardwares in place. And like what I was saying before, if the path is towards cloud adoption, cloud journey, we can work with you, and we can finalize the capacity and the instance type and have the WebFOCUS installed and configured there as well. Then comes the migration and the remediation part. So the part of the the documents that we share back to you in the next slide, Tim, if you can move to the next slide. So the effort estimate is custom made for each customer, right? So this is not like we have templates and we just copy it over, right? This will specifically call out the number of files that requires remediation, the complexities of those, what is the approach that we are going to take, and how is the project plan structured, how many resources are being involved, how are they going to work closely with the developers from your side, the teams from your side, the end users. So it'll list everything in detail. So moving to the next slide, this is a snapshot of what the tool generates for us. I just thought, and I'll give you a quick glance of the information that we get back from the tool, right? When we load the change management package and we run through all our processes internally, but it doesn't stop here, right? We do not just take content from here and give it back to you in the documents. There are developers who analyze this, the migration experts who analyze this internally, make sure this is appropriate. It is categorized based on the file types, domains that you have, because each domain will belong to a different team in your organization. So all those segregations and the clarity are analyzed, and we make sure that the clarity is passed on back to you. So that's what I have, Tim. I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, and for any of those who look at this like I do and say that's just a lot of stuff, a lot of tabs, I don't want to have to deal with that. I completely get it. That's what our team is used to doing. We wanted to show you the level of detail that we do get back in the reporting from that. Our team will make that very easy for you to see and what you need to worry about out of that document. And again, more and more, it's becoming less and less. Thankfully, the product has continued to evolve, and this migration and remediation, well, the remediation part especially, has gotten to be less and less of an issue for clients moving forward. But again, it's still good to have a feel for what it is going to be, or if there aren't on issues. You saw one of those initial ones, the set statement, where they were not using an ampersand, but now it required one. Typically, if you're using the GUI to create your code, then that's not going to be an issue for you. It's a lot of our clients started off WebFOCUS. They were coders. They learned to code with the product, and did not use the GUI tools. A lot of those things are going where you can find a lot of the issues where, at the beginning it was more flexible. Now they're tightening it down. So those are things that typically come up, the HTML pages as well. So then again, appreciate the detail on that. Again, that's something that we've given to a lot of our people, and it helps them in understanding the scoping, what it's going to take to do this, and it helps us to be able to be targeted when we get engaged with people to help them out. So the custom upgrade plan, final results, as you kind of see some of that, at least snapshots. That's by no means all of it. That was just a few snapshots we took out of one we did for a client. But you definitely are going to get it tailored to your approach. So everything that you see in there was tailored to the conversations we had as far as their resources, our resources, and all that kind of stuff that need to go into this. Prioritization of upgrade tasks and timelines, resource allocation, again, all those things that go into that. We provide tools and guidance to do the upgrade. The level of effort that we're involved in, again, will depend on what you need. Join effort with experts supporting your team. Again, as Zach said, we'll work directly with you and manage this to help make sure it's seamless and as painless as possible, which again is everybody's goal in this. So let's see, we have two more, I think. All questions, get one here. If I can figure out how to, there we go.
It's not there yet.
Did not come up?
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason it's not giving me the chance to launch it. Well, we'll just read this one because of time's sake. We're about 4 minutes out. Are you looking for an architecture changes during this migration to cloud? We talked about that. That is something that we do want people to keep in mind if it's something that they're looking to do or something in their initiatives. Make sure we know that at the very beginning so we can have a discussion to make sure we're approaching it the most efficient in the right way with you. So very quickly, I'm going to spend like 1 or 2 minutes on this because we're at the end of time. I do want to make sure that people understand that there's a lot of reasons to modernize as part of this. I think a lot of people approach these because we've got to get to the latest and greatest so we can use it, but then they miss the last part of that. They get up into the latest and greatest and they just kind of stop there. But it's definitely very worth it to be able to figure out how you're going to incorporate a lot of the new capabilities in the platform. Hannah mentioned a lot of those at the beginning, so I will not go back into those, but just making sure that you have a plan for what that looks like and how we can do that. And I think some of our future sessions that we're going to have on this are going to be focused just on that, on how do we actually help you modernize and some of the things that you can do and how to easily be able to take some existing applications and take advantage of that. So I won't go into that. I do want to talk about the approaches. Again, this can happen any way you want to. A lot of people we're working with are doing pilots because they want to be able to show to management or whoever it is that is in charge of sponsoring these projects what it looks like to modernize, why we need to do that, what we're getting out of it. We do those sometimes before because they know at the very beginning they want to take this on, and so they want to show it off so that modernization can be a part of the project. And we do have a lot of them that do it afterward as well. During, probably not as much, but usually either before or afterwards. So again, they can kind of show what is possible. But and the other thing I want to stress is most people are not taking this on as a full-scale modernization project. We do have some that have taken that approach, but most of them are saying, hey, I have this one application, I want to modernize that. It's going to have the biggest impact, and then we'll move on from there. So definitely a lot of different approaches to this. I would say, again, we can talk to you about the best way that fits what you're trying to accomplish, but it is good to know that there are options out there on how you do this. Let's see if we can get this last one to go. I'm almost 100% sure this is. I think maybe we hit the whole limit on here. So we'll just go over this one again for time's sake anyway. Which approach best fits you? Again, we've talked about all these. I just want to make sure again that you understand that there are a lot of different options out there. So hopefully this has been useful. We will, if you have not already, I'm gonna stop sharing. Feel free, I don't think there's any Q&A out there. Let us know what questions you have. We're more than glad to stick around and answer any questions. I do want to make sure we're at the top of the hour, or about a minute away. I want to make sure we do our drawing really quick. And thanks for our teams to kind of grabbing a couple names for me while I was talking. We had 2 $50 cards for Amazon that we're giving out. I think that's what we gave out last time, but I know that is this time. So Eric Mazel was winner of 1, and Garth Colacerdo. I don't want to mispronounce people's names, but we will be in contact with you and get you set up with that. All right. So again, hopefully this was interesting to people. I think for future ones, we're looking at kind of highlighting some of those modernization things. How do you actually start using it once you get to the point where you're upgraded and have all these great features? How do you start taking that forward? So please let us know. We're glad to stick around for Q&A here. It looks like we did have a few of them that came up. I'm just not getting to see those and that were answered. But we also want to hear any type of feedback that you guys have on new features that you're excited about, so we can kind of focus some of these next ones on those. There's
Great.
Garth again.
Thank you guys so much. This was exciting.
Yeah, appreciate it. Hannah for coming on, Joanne as well, and then of course Dax for his help and providing some context and